Hi, I'm Andrea Ballinger, and for my senior project, I did strength training and yoga. So my original guiding question was um, more focused around how does one, improve their self-esteem, or how is there a correlation between improvement with a person's self-esteem and how much physical activity they're doing, how much exercise they're getting in within like a day or so. And I strayed away from that because it was too subjective of a guiding question, and there wasn't really a lot of substance around my project. I really was kind of flailing coming up with that guiding question, and it was when I really didn't know what I wanted to get out of my project and what I really wanted to do with my project. And as I got closer to starting my yoga and strength training, I kind of narrowed down what I wanted to get out of it, and that's how I came up with how does strength training and yoga couple to improve physical and mental strength. So it's it's more of a I guess like a broad question, but it also has a bit more substance to it than how does one improve their self-esteem just by like exercising or something. So the project was fairly simple to get through and to organize. Basically, all I had to do was go onto Lifetime's website, and you can find group classes here. And here you can select the format in this area and click Group Fitness, and that's where you get all the classes. And you can go by a specific day, you can go by the next day, you can go by a week or a month, and so it made it really easy to find classes. And here it's listed like what class it is, the times, who the instructors are, and where the class is actually at Lifetime. And it was really nice. Sometimes the classes, like you can see here, they're kind of back to back, and there were a lot of days where I did have classes that were within 15 minutes of each other, or like started at the same time another class ended. So those were fun days. Some of the classes that I took were a TCX class, a strictly strength class, a barbell strength, the LP Yoga Roots, which is just Life Power, which is just a kind of a branch of the Lifetime Fitness, and then an LP Yoga Vinyasa class and a Warrior Scope. The TCX class is a total body resistance class, so sometimes it's like it's a cardio class, like a step, like you use steppers, and use weights. It's Bosu balls. Really, it depends on the day and what the instructor has planned. A lot of times it's just using your own body weight, so it's a lot of squats and lunges, push-ups, planks, a lot of core. So it kind of just depended on the day. Strictly strength class is almost the same thing, except for it's not as much of a cardio class. It's more actually just focused on lifting and using like dumbbells and different kinds of like weighted bars and bands and everything, just to kind of improve muscle endurance and muscular endurance. And barbell strength is just using a barbell and doing a bunch of exercises, different like squats and everything, like you would almost do in a rack, like in a free weight rack or something, but just in a class basically. The LP Yoga Roots was just kind of a beginner's yoga class where you focus a lot on like breathing techniques, a lot of like basic sequences, um, and it was kind of more of a relaxing introduction to yoga. So that was a nice class to go to. The yoga vinyasa class was a bit more complicated. It's sometimes called a flow yoga. So the instructor kind of starts off with you and leads you through like a series a few times, and then he or she lets you go through the sequence at your own pace. So it's kind of more of a personalized yoga class, whereas the LP Yoga Roots class, the instructor is constantly giving you directions and telling you what to do, what pose to do next, and how many breaths to take here, and constantly reminding you to focus on this or focus on that. So, but the vinyasa class is more personalized. You kind of go at your own pace. The warrior scope is a combination of strength training and yoga, whereas you do yoga poses, you are basically going through yoga sequences, but you have the added weights of dumbbells. So as you're, I guess, like holding a warrior one pose, you would have like dumbbells, and just like light dumbbells in your hand. So it's kind of a combination of the two. And then some of the exercises that I did that were not in classes, I did a lot of outside like free weight training and just using a lot of the machines at Lifetime. Kind of going through a sort of, I guess, program. Um, so I went through some bench presses, kind of like on the free weight racks and everything. Bench presses, deadlifts, back squats and reverse lunges, and some of the machine exercises. Leg extensions, leg presses, leg curls. Um, I used the arm bike. That was fun to use before I got tired, and the rowing machine, kind of just like to work on arm strength and everything. There were a bunch of other machines that I could go through too, but these are some ones that I use the most. And here's uh, examples of exercises that I did from both the TCX class and the Strictly Strength class. As you can see, you use like different like bands here. Here's an example of like the stepper and the Bosu ball for push-ups and planks. And then we have the dumbbells. We use the dumbbells for almost everything in the TCX class. Here is just like squats with dumbbells. And like as you can see in this one, there's four of the little stepper things there, but like here it's two, so you can it's really a personalized, they're really personalized classes to where you can like add more steps if you want the squats to be easier, take away steps if you want the squats to be harder. So it's really a lot of room to kind of do what you feel is best for your body in the classes. And then here's stills of different yoga poses. Well, actually, just my favorite, like simple yoga poses from the classes. Child's pose was the the strictly strength class, where we do a lot of lifting with the dumbbells and weighted bars and everything, and it was kind of strenuous on the shoulders and arms, so that was nice to kind of give arm strength. Here and here, like for the downward dogs, and the like here you can like do alternate legs to kind of like stretch out your calves and hamstrings, which is nice after a lot of squats and lunges. And it also kind of like stretches out your shoulders too. And then here is kind of like a standing tree pose, or squatted tree pose. And it's nice for like your hip flexors and to kind of like stretch that out after like the TCX classes are just lunges and squats the entire time. So it was kind of nice to be able to go through these yoga poses and have those in my back pocket to kind of combat the I guess strenuous nature of the strength training classes. Okay. So some complications that came about with actually my project was very susceptible to complications, because sometimes classes were canceled, which obviously like I have no control over. So sometimes I would have to stay home and kind of do like the P90X videos, which I had for backup in case that would happen. So like I still had to go to tennis practice during the senior project. So sometimes there were conflicts with when I could hit and when I needed to be in a class. So sometimes I have to kind of switch those around. I didn't really take into account any rest time that I may need between exercising this much. So there were some days where I couldn't necessarily do as much as I wanted to because I didn't want to push myself too much, because I am pretty injury prone, and like a lot of the exercises that we were doing were kind of target areas to where I have had previous injuries before where I still kind of am recuperating. So I didn't really take that into account as much as I think I needed to. Um, but I like it was nice because I had yoga to kind of combat any extra muscle fatigue that I had, so I could really just focus on yoga one day and kind of back off lifting or um, as much kind of like pounding on my knees or something like that. So uh, that was kind of nice to. I think I did a good job in picking um, yoga to kind of pair along with the strength training. For my project book, I had The Athlete's Guide to Yoga, and that I think this is a really good book for my project because it didn't just focus on yoga. As you can see in the title, it says an integrated approach to strength, flexibility, and focus. So it combined a lot of different aspects of yoga that I think are sometimes overlooked, and the book really made it really applied yoga to kind of outside sources, like everyday life things, and I could apply it to my specific sport, which is tennis. And it talked a lot about just the mentality that you need to have in yoga and in sports in order to kind of. I wrote this in my journals, but just the mentality to be able to, I guess, hold a pose and to not kind of like fall out of something even when you're in pain, and to be able to not focus on the pain and to kind of focus your on your breathing instead, or focus somewhere else, and be able to kind of have that mental strength and to develop that. So that I think that was a really good book for me to have because it had a lot of great information that I could apply and use like outside of my senior project as well. So I think I got a lot out of that.